Okay, there's not as many wasps out here yet. I've seen a few. Hopefully they don't come out. Lots of beans growing, cucumbers growing. The cucumber plants don't look very healthy though, so this will probably be some of the last ones that I get from those plants. The cabbages still look really good. I think they're gonna catch up to the ones over there in the bed in the back in a few weeks, because those are growing really slow because the soil over there isn't great. But yeah, I might want to cover these up at some point too. But maybe not, because there might not be a lot of bug pressure as it gets cooler. I don't know, I'll have to look into that one. Okay, that's done easily. It was a little under 130 before I flipped it. Right now it's under 100, and then we'll see what it is tomorrow. I'm expecting it to get back up to like 160, 170. It hit 180 like 3 or 4 days ago, which is kind of crazy. So, and I also put a decent amount of water in there because it was pretty dry. Still sort of just winging this whole thing, even though I've had one semi-successful batch. Still learning a lot. Okay, now I want to figure out how exactly I want to make a new compost bin over here with the pallets. Okay, something like this is what I'm thinking. I mean, pretty simple. Just put the walls up and the back up, and then I'll have to come up with a way to attach them all together. And I still have one pallet and then two of those smaller like fence pieces that we got from the neighbor, and then another pallet right here. But this one's kind of destroyed a little bit, but so I have two more pallets I could use to make the front wall or even like a roof or something. But these are like, basically they're over 3 feet but under 4 feet. They're like under 3.5 feet at all sides. So it meets like the general idea that your compost pile should be 3 by 3 by 3 at least. So they'll be fine in terms of dimension. And they're like over 4 feet tall, or right around 4 feet tall. So that's plenty of space to put stuff in. That's actually taller than where I'm putting stuff over here. So should be fine. So yeah, now I just have to figure out how to attach them or how I want to attach them, and then I'm gonna have to put stakes in the ground, probably like I did on the other bins, to prevent these walls from moving outward, or otherwise I'd have to brace them with the diagonal board. I'd rather just put stakes in, honestly. I could just hammer those in. And I think I have a few more anyway, so. But yeah, that was easy enough. And the reason I didn't, like, I could just take all these apart and like build one like I did over here. And this one's actually pretty nice. Like, I mean, that's a pretty decent, well-built compost bin, I think. I mean, this is sort of just kind of throwing some pallets together, but it's just way easier and way less time consuming to just put these up and then attach them somehow, and then just call it a compost bin. So I'm just not going to worry about adding more work when I can just do it this easily. I think what I want to do is basically get a long piece from the lid of one of those boxes that I talked about yesterday and put it along the back all the way across. I think that'll be the easiest thing, and just screw it to all these. That would probably be the easiest thing to do. Okay, I'm gonna have to move the whole thing this way so I can get behind it to do that, and then I'll have to somehow move it back towards the fence. So I've used the 1x3s or whatever that were on the edges, the borders of that top to that big box that I have, and I used those and just found places to attach them to the back panels of these. Now I just have this one side left right here that I'll put on to these that are sticking out. You can't see this one at the bottom. And I'll screw those in, and then that's the back sides and the walls, and then probably tomorrow I'll do the front parts. Kind of deciding how I want to do that, because I could just like put a pallet on the front and just whenever I want to pull the compost out, just pull that or remove that front pallet, or I could build the slats like I have on the others, because those are pretty nice too, but I'm not sure yet. But anyway, I'm gonna get this side on and then probably be done for today. Alright, so there it is, done, the walls and the backs. Once I move it back towards against the fence, I will then put the stakes in on either side, on the outside of the outside walls and on either side of the center wall, to prevent the walls from moving. That's what I learned from building that one, that the compost will push against those walls, and if they're not somehow in their position that they're in, stuck in the position, then they will definitely move. So I'll do that tomorrow. I'll try to move it. It's going to be really heavy against the fence, and then put the stakes in, and then put the front in tomorrow. And then that'll be it. And then I can move this material into one of these bins. My goal really is to always have an empty bin that I can be filling in. It's like as soon as one compost heap is done being filled and ready to just sit, I want to have another compost bin ready so I can start putting stuff in there rather than it just sitting out here randomly. So that's it. That's gonna be it for today. Tomorrow I'll come back and finish this.